Well, hey guys. Today is May 13th of 2021. I'm back up at Hilltop 91. Got in here yesterday around noon, got camp set up, and was getting ready to make my opening video, and Wayne came up just as I was getting ready to do that, so we ended up talking. He only came up, he left here about 9:30 ish last night. Just came up to sit out for a while and yeah, this might be a long video. Um, yeah, I'll just get into it. Went out to uh, make my phone calls this morning, and as soon as I got out to where I have phone reception, I got a call from my landlord. Um, he had a cash offer on the house that we've been living in for the past 11 years. He got a cash offer on the house that apparently he couldn't resist. Um, yeah, kind of, as you can imagine, I definitely got blindsided by it. Here, let's get to my blind side. Um, he's been a great landlord, and I've talked about buying the house from him in the past, and he had no intentions on selling the house. This whole conversation was long before this whole COVID pandemic came into being. Um, so I have until July 10th to find a new place to live. Um, no, that's 7 weeks ish. Today's the 13th. So that's almost 2 months. Um, I hold no ill feelings towards him. He's a great guy, and the way things are in the world, I understand. Everybody's got to do what they got to do, and the housing market is what the housing market is, and if this turns out to be a blessing in Dan's life for Dan and his family, I you know this is who I am as a Christian, born again Christian, and God blesses people in all kinds of ways. Sometimes we have a hard time, trying to grasp what's going on. And when we live by the means of the world and by what man says and man's laws and that, it gets real hard to keep a spiritual uh, part to yourself. Me myself, yeah, I'm taken back by it, and I have a lot of trepidation about where I'm going to live next. But I'll get into that here in a few minutes. But when a person says that that they're a Christian and they walk by faith, and then something like this happens, and typically the first response is they get angry at the person, who in my case, get angry at my landlord, and this isn't fair, and I've been such a great tenant, and I don't look at it that way. Don't get me wrong, I am upset, but I'm not upset at him. I guess I'm just upset at all the work that I have to do, and that my plans for this summer have drastically been altered. But when you walk by faith, you have to walk in it all the time, and that's what I do. And I don't know what Dan's plans in life have been and what his prayers are, if any. But, I know God works his will, for his purpose, in all things for his purpose to the good, whether we understand that or not. So this could be the one of the biggest blessings in Dan's life, the amount of money that he got offered cash for this house. I can't help but think, especially as hard as times are, he's a pilot for a major airlines. Who knows how long that's going to continue on? Who knows how long anything's going to continue on? So, if this puts Dan in a better place, I I can only praise God for that. It's an answer to Dan's prayers. Myself, my wife and I, we've been talking for about the last 8 years that we wanted to move up to Payson, Arizona. We live in Apache Junction, Arizona, which is at the base of the Superstition Mountains, the um, far east metropolitan area, or the Phoenix metropolitan area. So about as far east as you can go, east of Phoenix, and still be in the metropolitan area. That's where I currently live. We've wanted to move to Payson for quite some time, and we've talked about it off and on, goodness, for, I don't know, well, 25 years at least. Yeah, and we just never pulled the trigger. And we always said that when, if we ever leave the house that we're in, if we ever move again, we're moving to Payson. So, guess where we're going to move to? We're going to move to Payson. Um, Payson sits just under 6,000 feet. It gets all 4 seasons, and yeah, and it's real. It's the closest town to where I'm at right now. Um, it's mileage wise, I think it's like 52 miles to here versus 120 something that I'm normally driving. So once everything, excuse me, once everything gets settled down, and we get moved up here and get moved in, I'm gonna be closer to being up here, and that's a beautiful thing. And I just can't dismiss the fact that you know that up here is where we're supposed to be, and that's why things are turning out the way they do. And I like I said, I'm not happy about all the work that I have to do, because we've got a lot of stuff, and we're going to be downsizing. We're going to be getting rid of a lot of stuff. So this trip up here that I'm on right now is going to be the last one for several months. I might be settled in enough to come up here sometime in August, maybe late July, but I doubt it. I just got a lot of stuff to do, and life comes before up here, and that's the things I have to get taken care of. Yeah, I just got a lot of work to do. So I'll talk a little bit about last night. Wayne and I had some pretty decent activity. Um, at, uh, at one point, it's like we had, I've talked about the distortions, the shimmering images, and I may have mentioned it on a previous video or a couple times when we were completely surrounded by this distortion. It's very hard to explain, but something was completely around us. Whether you want to call it an energy field, doesn't matter to me what you call but we were completely surrounded by this, and it was you know kind of a warm fuzzy feeling going on. Had a couple of good zaps going on. Um, Several twinkle lights. We could hear a couple of clicks, couple of pops, and you know Wayne had apparently had asked a question in his head. Now let me back up. We asked who was here, if it was anybody that we knew, and I immediately got Rian, and Rian is a female. Um, but I got Rian, and at the same exact time, Wayne got the same thing, and we both looked at each other and said, "Rian's here." Um, so it's not just a figment of my imagination or a figment of his imagination that that this happens. We both got the same mind speak at the same time. We both got the answer, and little time had passed, and uh, I got mind speak. We're waiting, and I'm thinking to myself, waiting for what? What are you waiting for? And I was just sitting there, waiting for another answer, and trying to think of what they could be waiting on, and Wayne had asked me if I got anything, because he had asked a question and asked him if they would respond to me. And I was just like, really? I said, well, about 2 minutes ago, I got, "We're waiting," and I have no idea what that was in reference to. Well, apparently, what Wayne had asked in his head is if it was okay, because we were seeing movement all over the place, and I mean it was just really really cool activity. Wayne asked if it was okay if we walked over into this one area towards where our gift stump is, and something to that effect. He asked him. I don't remember exactly how he worded it, but it was, "Can we come over there, or can I come over there to you?" And the response was, "We're waiting." So I finished the cigarette I was smoking, and we started walking over there. Mind you, it's dark out. Um, I've walked this path hundreds of times. So I know where I'm going. Um, can vaguely tell that there's a little trail there, because that part of the ground is darker than the rest of the ground around it, and I know where I'm going. But so we're walking, and Wayne was following me a couple steps behind me, and I caught something out of the corner of my eye, and I looked over, and it was like I hit the brakes, and Wayne tried to walk right over the top of me. But we had both seen it at the same time, and that's why he didn't realize I had stopped. And on the ground next to us, by this little stump, it was probably about 5 feet away from us, was this little bright light. And looking at it, and I'm like, "Wayne, do you see that?" And he goes, "Yeah, I see it." And then it would disappear, and then it would come back, and then it would disappear, and then it would come back, and then it'd change colors. It'd go from the whitish, almost light tint of green, but mostly a whitish type color, and then it turned red, and what does that? But well, we know what does that. But anyway, so we started talking to him, and I got hit with this massive wave of euphoria, and you know, I was extremely happy. I was extremely excited, and we sat and watched this little light. Lord, um, 3 4 minutes, before it just finally, went away. But it was, I mean, it was a light. You know, it's the only it's the only way I can say it. It was a light. Um, it didn't give off light. It's not like it was lighting up the area around it or anything, but light nonetheless. Especially when was as dark as it was. It was the twinkle lights, but it wasn't in twinkle light form. It was in, just the solid light form. Normally the twinkle lights, they pop on and pop off. Once in a while they'll drift around a little bit, and so we enjoyed that. And then we walked all the way to the gift stump, sat out there for a few minutes, and was walking back to the camp, and off to the left of me, I heard something, and I stopped, and it sounded like something big and heavy shifting weight, or from left foot to right foot, kind of sound. And I was like, well, hello. And so I started walking again, and Wayne had stopped, and he heard the same thing. And so we got back over to the camp, and he decided at that point he was going to go ahead and take off, because he had about an hour, well, being in the dark, probably an hour and a half drive out of here to get home. And, so he called it quits. And, I sat up for about another 40 minutes or so, um, by myself, just enjoying the peace and quiet and the dark. And I really didn't have any activity, so more than likely when Wayne started up his truck and turned on his lights, uh, they went off somewhere else. And I haven't gone through my audio yet, haven't downloaded it, to see if there's anything on there, but I will. I'll be doing that sometime today. um, I've got a new guy that I met on Mark Abel's Energy Overload Facebook page, Mark Abel of Colorado Bigfoot. And turns out he lives in the Phoenix metropolitan area, and so we ended up chatting for a while, and I invited him up here, and to get the experience, and so he should be up here today, and we'll be leaving Saturday, and I was going to leave Sunday, but I've got a lot of stuff to do. And so I told my wife, I said, babe, I'm going to sit up here. This is my last trip. I'm going to get my headspace and timing set right, get my game plan set, and when I get home, time to roll up the sleeves and get busy. It's time to handle business. So right now, this is going to be my last trip for a while. And unless miracles rain down on top of me, and blessings just pour in, it's going to be a while before I get back out. Um, you know, Financially, I'm okay for the move. I mean, it's going to knock my savings down, but at least I'm not stressing about, oh, where am I going to get the money to move. I have the money to do this, but there goes most of my savings, and you know I've been through a lot worse. Had a lot worse situations happen in life, and so I'll get through this. It's gonna be a little stressful and a lot of hard work, but you know sometimes in life that's what you got to do, is you got to roll up your sleeves and get to work and get busy. Well, that's what's going to happen. Um, you know, God's will is God's will, and His purpose is His purpose, and I trust in that, and I know everything's going to be fine. I know everything's going to be. I'm going to be right where I'm supposed to be, and doing the things I'm supposed to be doing as long as I continue to do it for Him. So anyway, I'm at the 20-minute mark, so I have no idea how long this thing's going to take to upload, but it doesn't matter. Um, but yeah, I'm about 300 yards or so away from camp, so there's a little drawback here. I'll just kind of pan this around so you guys can get a little look of where I'm hanging out gathering my thoughts right now. Such a beautiful day. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to be up here right now at this point in time. Because not everybody gets these kind of opportunities to come out and spend the amount of time out here that I normally spend out here. But anyway, time to time I'll pop on and post a couple of uploads, give you guys updates on how things are going and so forth and so on. So it's not like I'm going to be completely gone. It's just I won't be up here for a while. Love you guys as always. Peace out.